There was a video that really disturbed me by Accountability for All had done the video. And they were in Connecticut, and there was a fire. From my understanding, because I spoke to him on the phone directly, I called him directly to get information regarding this incident because I filed a complaint with the P.O.S.T department, which is like the top of internal affairs. Once you file, like, people say, well, who do you contact when the police are the ones that are committing the crimes? You have to contact the P.O.S.T department, the police officer standards of training. And so, like, it's like reaching internal affairs, but like at the highest level. And a lot of times, instead of investigating themselves, they'll send it out to a third party to do the investigating, that's what's happened in this situation, because I just got an email from that third party company. The lady wants me to give her a call. I'm not really sure what else I could tell her I mean, I sent her all of my emails. I made it very clear. I'll give her a call, I guess, but I wanted to go over the emails with you guys. So I sent this email to the P.O.S.T department in Connecticut on September 14th, 2020, and I titled it Violent Behavior. I said, wow, what is going on with these tyrants? Standing on a sidewalk taking video is not a crime. Officer number 1896 thinks it's okay and completely normal to pull his baton on a citizen for filming. A constitutionally protected activity. The very First Amendment. These officers swore an oath to protect our Constitution, yet they get violent when citizens exercise their rights? On top of being super aggressive, the officers then lie and try to say that someone who's simply taking video was trying to break into their cop car. Video footage shows that that's a flat-out lie. The cop car is parked on a public sidewalk. When did sidewalks become parking spaces? Then, when these tyrants are asked to get a supervisor, Officer Doyle and his buddies completely refuse. Why is it that when officers know that they are in the wrong, they refuse to ID and they refuse to call a supervisor? Also, police are not supposed to blind a camera when a citizen is filming. That's considered obstruction to the citizen's First Amendment right. This has already been ruled on by the Supreme Court. Why are your officers blinding people's cameras with their flashlights? Corruption. With a bunch of exclamation points after the word corruption in all capital letters. Police wonder why people are burning down cities. It's because the public is sick and tired of the tyrannical behavior. Bad cops get good cops hurt and or killed. Out of 5 police officers, 5 failed the public. 5 officers and not one called a supervisor when asked. Not one officer told Officer 1896 that his violent behavior was not okay. The corruption seems to run deep in this department. The behavior of your officers is absolutely disgusting. As an international photographer who travels the United States and the world, I'm terrified to come to your city. Why would I spend my money in your city knowing that I might get beat down with a baton simply for photographing? I provided the link to the video and I said, please correct this behavior. Sincerely, a very concerned citizen. The police department wrote me back, the internal affairs, the person that's in charge of whatever. He says, good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Bill Ray, and I am the commander of the Hartford Police Department's Internal Affairs Division. I have received your complaint, and we will be investigating this incident. I was hoping you could please tell me the date, time, and location of this incident. Also, I was unable to view the video in the link. Is it possible to forward me a copy of the video? I've attached a copy of your citizen complaint form. If you would please complete the form and return it to me, I would appreciate it. And I responded, thank you for getting back to me. I will look up the information that you have requested and I will get it over to you. A few weeks went by, maybe a couple weeks went by, and he responded, good afternoon. I just wanted to follow up and see if you were able to get that information. The information regarding the date, time, and place is the reason that I called Josh from the guy that does like the videos or does that channel, Accountability for All. So I called Josh and I was like, I need this information. How do I make a copy of the video? They're wanting a copy of the video. They're saying they can't view the video and this and that. The thing is when you go to work, a lot of workplaces have certain internet sites blocked. And I think that the police have these same internet sites blocked because it's like, oh, well, if we can't view the video, then it didn't really happen. Or if we say that we can't see it, then we don't have to actually investigate it. So it's kind of like Scientology. Like where I live, Scientology, like they own most of this entire city. So it's like the Scientologist people, they're gonna block anything negative about Scientology in case any Scientologists get on the computer. They're not gonna see anything negative about themselves. And it's like the police are doing the same thing basically. They don't want to see anything negative about themselves, so they just block certain websites. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I got a hold of Josh and we had a conversation and he told me how to copy the video and this and that. He was trying to copy it for me, but it was taking hours for him to shadow copy it or whatever it's called. So he gave me all the information. He went into his Google Maps to get the time and place and location and all that, and he gave it to me. He said that him and the guy that was with him went in and filed a complaint that evening, and they've never heard anything back since of that like incident. What I think happened is they went in, they filed a complaint with whoever was at the desk. They said, garbage, we're not dealing with that. And they just thought that it was never gonna go anywhere. So they weren't expecting for somebody to actually reach out to somebody above them, which is what I did. And hopefully we'll get something fixed and we'll get a resolution and there'll be some changes and maybe some disciplinary action or retraining or even firing, whatever needs to take place. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it done, because I don't want our communities and our country to be divided the way that it is. Like, it's unnecessary. When I was growing up, this is not the way policing happened. Let's be real, the whole world is watching. And the police are supposed to be the best of us. They're supposed to have the, you know, morals and integrity, and, you know, they're supposed to be honest. But it seems as though that's not the way it is. It seems as though they try to pick the worst of the worst, like people that can't get jobs anywhere else become police officers. Like, oh, you don't have any kind of degree, you only have a high school diploma, sure, come be a police officer. Like, we need to make some changes. I personally think you need to have at least 2 years of some sort of law study, law degree. I think you need to have at least 2 years of military background, like of service experience, before you should be allowed to be a police officer. I don't think that just anybody should be able to become a police officer, only go to 6 months of training and then get handed a fucking firearm that they can literally murder people with, and then have a union that backs them and never holds them responsible. Like, you know, they have qualified immunity, they have unions, all these things, so it's like they can just do whatever they want and there's no consequences, and that needs to change. Like, we're in 2020, but we should be able to go and click on any officer at any given time and watch their body camera footage live. That would be complete transparency. But see, what happens is police do whatever they want, then they take the body camera footage, they black a bunch of stuff out, they mute a bunch of stuff, or they'll just tell you that, oh, you can't have that footage. Oh, because there's an investigation, we can't release it to you. Oh, because there's private information, we can't release it to you. Oh, because of this or that. They make up whatever reason not to release it. Like, why do we even need to request the body camera footage at this point in 2020 with 5G? We should be able to just go to the website, click on any officer at any time and see exactly what they're doing. We shouldn't need to put in a request. We should be able to see it live, because the technology exists. If the technology exists, let's implement it and put it to use. But they're never going to want to do that, because they don't want people to see what they're really doing. They don't want to be transparent. They want to lie and steal and manipulate and do whatever, and then cover it up and make you into the bad guy. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to make false police reports. Like, if I call and make a false police report to 911, I go to jail. But if a cop violates your rights and then to cover his ass, he makes a false police report, like they did with me, 3 different reports say 3 different things. Clearly 3 different things could not have happened. It's impossible. But he wants to cover his ass, so he just makes up whatever. Like, if you get caught doing that, they need to fire you. Police should not be able to turn their body cameras on and off. They shouldn't be able to mute them and unmute them. Like, that should not be able to happen. It's, you go to work, you put your uniform on, the body camera is on and it stays on, and you cannot control whether it goes on or off, mute or not mute. They shouldn't have control of that. And we as the public should be able to see what they're doing at all times, because they work for us. They get paid with our money. They're supposed to be there to help us and protect us and this and that and make everything safer. But that's not what they're here for. They're here to lock you away, to take your money, to harass you, to kidnap you, to violate your rights. That's what they're taught to do. And they think that that's normal. They think that's okay. Like, you know, I used to be naive and just be like, oh, they have such a hard job, and oh, I feel bad for them because they have such a hard job. But after them fucking with me, like, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad when, you know, something happens and whatever. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad, because to me, I see it like, well, how many people did you fuck with? Because what happens to you is your karma. It's that simple. Whether you're a regular person, whether you're a police officer, it doesn't matter. What you do to others, how you treat others, comes back to you. That is your karma. So when something bad happens, I feel like, well, they probably fucked with a lot of people. They probably fucked a lot of people's lives up. They probably falsely arrested a lot of people. They probably stole cars and houses and boats and money from all these people and say it's drug money, even if it's not. So yeah, you get your karma. Like, when you do shitty things to people, shitty things happen to you. So I don't feel bad. And like, logic is not a thing with police. It's all about, they want to be in control of the situation. They want to be in control of everything. And you know why? It's because they're not in control of themselves. They're not in control of their own emotions. They're not in control of their own lives at home, their own households. They're not in control. They're not in control. So they want to take their control and put it on to the public. Two types of people become officers. I really believe this. Two types of people become officers. You were either the jock that was real popular and you bullied everybody, you probably become an officer. Or you were the nerdy ass kid that all the jocks bullied, and now you want to be able to take out your anger and retaliation on the rest of the world. Those are the only two types of people that become cops. Bullies and people who have been bullied. That's it. No normal in-between person becomes a cop. So sorry about it. Like, and if you want to get in my comments and be like, that's not true, I've got cop friends and blah blah blah. Okay, great for you. I don't believe you.